Friends, make a note of it. Whether we purchase by making cash payment for the entire amount of the assets, or we purchase by paying the entire amount in installments, we should always capitalize the assets. Only with cash price amount. Next, the difference between higher purchase price and the cash price is to be treated as interest, or the amount paid towards interest is to be treated as amount paid towards the interest. Okay friends, so for question number 60, on this reasoning what we are saying, what is the amount to be capitalized or treated as a capital expenditure is always cash price of rupees 1,20,000 is a point. So A is the right answer for question number 60. 61. Which of the following is a capital expenditure? That means remaining are the revenue expenditures. Compensation paid to the directors on termination of their service. For termination of the services, if you are paying the compensation, it is to be treated as a revenue in nature. Expenditure incurred in connection with the renewal of a trademark or patent rights is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. The activities paid to the employees on their retirement, this also is to be treated as a revenue in nature. So A, B, C are revenue in nature. So D should necessarily be a what? Is necessarily to be treated as a capital expenditure. What is it? Royalty paid in installments for purchase of the rights. So if you are paying any amount for purchase of a rights, then definitely it is to be treated as a capital expenditure is a point. Just for using, if you are paying the royalty, then it is to be treated as a revenue in nature. If you are paying to purchase, then it is to be treated as a capital expenditure. D is the right answer. Question number 62. Choose the correct true statement. Wages paid for erection of a new plant and machinery is a revenue expenditure. No, it is a capital expenditure. So it's not a true statement. Sale of stock in trade is a revenue receipt. Yes, this is a true statement. By making sale of the stock, what you get, it is to be treated as a revenue receipts. Then revenue expenditure is intended to benefit for more than 1 year. No, revenue expenditure is intended to give you the benefit which is confined to 1 year is a point. Then any amount paid for acquiring any fixed asset is a revenue expenditure. No, any expenditure which you incur to acquire a fixed asset is to be treated as a capital expenditure. So for question number 62, B is the right answer. For question number 62, B is the right answer. Now I move to the question number 63, friends. Which one of the following will be treated as a revenue expenditure? So you should have the patience to read all the four. What is it? Cost incurred for new exit as required under the local body bylaws. Then interest paid on loan during the construction of the works. Cost of pulling down the old building as also payment made to the architect for planning the new building. Then D, a dealer in sewing machine purchased the sewing machines and spent some money in repair of the 10 machines damaged while in transit. Friends, we will go from D to A. Right? See, if Maunika purchases a sewing machine, it is a capital expenditure for her. For a person who is a dealer, for him sewing machines are what? Stock in trade. So, whatever the dealer makes the payment for purchase of the sewing machines, that and all is to be treated as a revenue expenditure is a point. Cost of pulling down the old machine as also the payment made to the architect for to plan the new building, all this is to bring a new asset into existence, so it is to be treated as a capital expenditure. And you have taken a loan for constructing a particular asset, and prior to the asset coming into existence, if you are paying any interest, that and all is to be capitalized and it is to be treated as a capital receipts. And cost incurred for new exit as required under the local body bylaws. See, if you are incurring an expenditure in order to what you call abide by the what you call legislation or a statute requirement, then it is to be treated as a capital expenditure. That is, suddenly you are asked to incur an expenditure to confirm a particular legal requirement, then it and all is to be treated as a capital expenditure. So only thing is D is the right answer, because for a dealer of sewing machines, purchasing of a what you call sewing machines is a revenue expenditure is the point, because for a dealer in sewing machines, purchase of 10 new sewing machines is a stock in trade and is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. So D is the right answer. So question number 63, take D as the right answer. Question number 64, cost of filing a case in courts for infringement of copyrights purchased. See, we purchase the copyrights, whereas somebody else without a legal right is doing the copying job, then we are filing a suit against them, then whatever the expenditure that we are incurring is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. Already I told you friends, if any legal expenses which you are incurring in the normal course of your business, that and all is to be treated as a revenue expenditure is a point. You have got a clear title and you are filing a suit against somebody who has made infringement of your copyrights. So in that pretext it is to be treated as a revenue expenditure is a point, because with this expenditure your title is not going to get a better title, it is already a better title. In order to prevent somebody from using it, if you are incurring some expenditure in the form of legal fees and all, that is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. Question number 64, A is the right answer. Question number 65, interest accrued during the year on the term loan raised and utilized for purchase and erection of a plant, however production had not commenced. That's what this particular point is very important. That is, you have taken a loan and you are paying the interest. The interest for the period till such time the asset is ready to put to use is to be capitalized. Any interest expense after the asset is ready to put to use is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. This is very, very important question friends from the examination point of view. You have taken a loan to purchase and acquire an asset. All the interest which you paid till such period the asset is ready to put to use is a capital in nature, is to be capitalized to the value of the asset. Once the asset is put to use, any further amount of interest which you are paying subsequently is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. So on that pretext, for question number 65, C is the right answer. Question number 66, cost of training engineers in Germany regarding emergency repairs of a new machine to be purchased from a German company. So any expenditure before the asset coming into existence is to be treated as a capital expenditure. So 66, C is the right answer. Question number 67, scrap value of 5,000 of an old machine is. C, scrap value of 5,000 of a old machine is, that is old machine you are making sale and you are realizing a scrap value of 5,000, then it is to be treated as a capital receipt, friends, and it is not to be treated as a revenue receipt or advance receipt. It is to be treated as a capital receipt. By sale of any asset, what you are going to get is to be treated as a capital receipt. C is the right answer. Question number 68, friends, revenue from sale of products on credit ordinary is reported as a part of the earning in the period. See, revenue from sale of products on credit basis. See, once you are preparing your accounts on accrual basis, whether you receive the money or not, the moment you are making a sale, then it is to be treated as a revenue. So, revenue from sale of a products on a credit ordinarily is reported as a part of the earning in the period in which sale is made, not when the money is received. It is to be treated as the revenue of the year in which the sale is made is the point, friends. So for question number 68, C is the right answer. Question number 69, amount received from SIDBI as a medium term loan for working capital. So any amount, whether you got it in the form of a share capital or what it is, the loans, all that amount is to be treated as a capital receipt. D is the right answer. Question number 70, friends, imported goods confiscated by the customs authority. See, you are importing the goods without paying the import duty and all, and those goods are being confiscated, means taken away by the authorities. It is a loss for you, but such a loss you have to treat it as a deferred revenue loss. Since the loss amount is too big, you are going to partly charge it to this year, partly charge it over several years in future. So loss that you are getting because of confiscation of the goods by the authorities, that is to be treated as a deferred revenue loss, because that is a huge loss. If you charge that entire amount of the loss to this year profit and loss account, what will happen? Your profit will get unduly affected. So generally what we do is, such kind of expenditure or losses we are going to defer to the future. So in that pretext, it is a deferred revenue loss. Question number 71, bad debts recovered is what? Bad debts is a revenue loss, bad debts recovered is a revenue receipt is the point to be noted, friends. Question number 72, friends, penalty paid for capital commitments. You entered into a contract with somebody and you are not able to complete that particular contract and you are paying the penalty. In that case, that is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. And 73, advance to the suppliers of the goods is a, see, you are paying advance for getting the goods. Such advance will be adjusted against the amount payable for somebody to supply the goods to you. On that pretext, what we are saying, it is to be treated as what? Is it a revenue expenditure or a deferred revenue expenditure or a capital expenditure or a prepaid expense? Advance you are paying to the suppliers is a prepaid expense. D is a right answer. Question number 74, prepayment penalty on loan. See, you are paying prepayment penalty, that is, you have taken a loan and the loan is for 10 years, but in the 5th year you are going to the banker saying that, sir, I want to pre-close my loan. So pre-closure, whenever you make of the loans which you have taken from the financial institutions, they are going to charge some penalty for your See, for a delayed payment, people will charge the penalty. For an early payment also, for a pre-closure also, people will, that is, financial institutions will lay some penalty. Such and all is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. Question number 75. Festival advance to the employees is what? Any advance to the employees is to be treated as a prepaid expense. Fees for the patentees. Already we discussed on this particular point. That is, if it is a case of a renewal, and if that renewal is for on a yearly basis, that is, year to year you need to go for renewal. In that case, the renewal fees will become a revenue expenditure because the benefit is confined to one particular accounting period, then it becomes a revenue expenditure. In case if the renewal fees is for a period of 10 years like that, then in that case, is the benefit is an enduring benefit and it is an intangible asset, definitely that situation it becomes a capital expenditure. But what is the period for which this renewal is happening is not given, then the general presumption is that renewal is for on a yearly to yearly basis, then the answer will be the revenue expenditure. If it is for purchase of the patents rights, then it would have been a capital expenditure. It is a case of renewal fees for the patents, that should be the revenue expenditure. C is the right answer. Then I move to the next question, friends. Question number 77. Which item of the following illustrates the deferred revenue expenditure? Purchase of the fixed asset is a capital expenditure, friends. Wages to the labor is a revenue expenditure. Managerial remuneration is also revenue expenditure. Purchase of the fixed asset fits into the definition of the capital expenditure because capital expenditure is one which involves in acquiring an asset or enhancing the earning capacity of an asset. Here, since it is a case of acquisition of an asset, purchase of a fixed asset is a capital expenditure. Wages to the labor, you are going to take the services from the labor and going to make the payment for those services in the form of the wages, but the benefit of it is confined to one particular accounting period. So on that pretext, wages to the labor is a revenue expenditure. Then as far as managerial remuneration also, this is for managerial staff, whatever for the services that you are getting, what the remuneration that you are paying, there also the benefit is confined to 1 year and accordingly it is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. Discount on issue of shares and debentures, friends. What will happen at the time of issuing of the debentures? You may issue a debenture of face value 100 rupees for 90 rupees. So you will collect 90 rupees and issue a debenture of the face value 100. After a period of 7 years, you have to pay back this debenture amount. In a way, in simple terms, to tell you about what is a debenture, it is a loan taken by the company, and general loan and the debenture, what is the difference, friends? In case of a general loan, that is negotiability is not there, whereas in case of the debentures, what will happen? Company will acknowledge the debt and give the debenture instrument, which the holder of such instrument can transport to the others, and that other person who is going to purchase that particular debenture can come to the company and can ask the company to pay the amount as well as the interest, principal as well as the interest periodically and principal at the time of redemption of debentures. So the whole lot of the discount in the year of issue of the debentures, you are not going to debit to the profit and loss account. Let us suppose 10 rupees is the discount on 100 rupees of the debentures, and the period for which the debentures are raised is for 10 years. Then each year 1 rupee you are going to charge it to the what? Your profit and loss account. So discount on issue of the debentures and shares, this one can say it as an example for the deferred revenue expenditure, because It is a revenue expenditure, but since the benefit of it is going to come for more than 1 year, we are terming it as a deferred revenue expenditure. Now I move to the question number 78, friends. Failure to clearly distinguish between the capital and revenue items will result in, see, if you don't make a proper distinction of what is a capital expenditure and what is a revenue expenditure, what will happen? You may be treating a capital expenditure as a revenue expenditure. If you treat capital expenditure as a revenue expenditure, profit will come down, because once capital expenditure is treated as a revenue expenditure and the whole lot of sum is debited to the profit and loss account, naturally what will happen? Profit will come down. Car you purchased for 5 lakhs. You need to charge to the profit and loss account what? Only the depreciation amount. Whereas if you charge to the profit and loss account the entire car purchased amount, what will happen? Profit will come down. Similarly, if a revenue expenditure is treated as a capital expenditure, what will happen? Profit will go up. Why? Then that amount of expenditure will come to the balance sheet. It is not going to come to the income statement, profit and loss statement. Then the profit will go up. Once expenditure you are showing less and creating an asset, your profit will go up. So failure to clearly distinguish between the capital and revenue will result in over trading, under trading, misleading receipts and payments, and the final accounts being false and misleading. Last, that is the D is the right answer. That is, the terms of over trading, under trading, these have got a different meaning. At an appropriate time, what is the meaning of the over trading and under trading, I will come to for making the explanation. But simple thing that should go into your mind is the final accounts, that is the profit and loss account and the balance sheet, which you are going to prepare by not able to make a clear distinction between the capital and revenue expenditure. Those final accounts, that is profit and loss account and balance sheet, will not be correct, and profit shown by the profit and loss account is not correct, and state of affairs or a financial position reflected by the balance sheet is not going to be correct. Correct means it is a misleading statements. So this is the whole lot of importance of properly making the distinction between the capital and revenue expenditure. Failure to do that will not give a true and fair view of the final accounts as a point. So for question number 78, D is the right answer. 79. Damages paid on account of breach of contract to supply certain goods. See, you entered into a contract for supplying of the goods and you are making a failure in that particular contract. So for breach of contract, that is for your violation of that particular contract, you are paying the penalty. In that case, are the damages that is to be treated as a revenue expenditure only is the point. It's not on account of the capital front to treat it as a capital expenditure. It is on account of breach of contract for supplying of the goods, so it is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. It is damages are related to an item of revenue expenditure. So for question number 79, B is the right answer. Then 80, question number 80, any expenditure incurred in order to lower the operating costs or expenses denotes what? Any expenditure incurred in order to lowering the operating cost or expenses denotes what? See, friends, earlier also this question we discussed in what sense. That is, friends, let us suppose my concern today is a labor intensive company, so my operating expenses every month are very high. So presently in my company 100 laborer are working. I brought a machine with 5 lakh rupees, so I incurred a capital expenditure. After the introduction of that particular machine in my company, the labor force requirement came down from 100 to 50. Naturally, I am able to reduce my operating costs is a point. My operating costs are going to get reduced. Operating costs are getting reduced because of incurring capital expenditure of purchasing the machine. So with the mechanization of the whole process of working will definitely reduce the operating costs. So any expenditure incurred to lower the operating costs or expenses denotes what? Capital expenditure. So A is the right answer. Then question number 81, friends, mark out the usual items of deferred revenue expenditure among the following. So out of these three, which denotes or marks out the deferred revenue expenditure? Preliminary expenses, that is the expenses which you are incurring before the company coming into existence or to bring the company into existence, like that, and after the company got into existence also some more expenses can also be incurred, which may come under the category of preliminary expenses. Of course, as you move to your further studies into the IPCC, there you will have a topic called as income tax. There preliminary expenses are definition. You can have a definition for the preliminary expenses, and at this juncture only your understanding that should go is, to start a company you require registration with the registrar of companies, and you require to prepare the memorandum and the articles of association, and then publish the prospectus. To meet all these expenses, to do all these activities, you require to incur some expense, and that expense will be termed as preliminary expense, and the whole lot of preliminary expense will not get debited to the profit and loss account in the year in which it is incurred. Instead, it will be spread over several years. So preliminary expenses is an example of the deferred revenue expenditure. Similarly, heavy advertisement campaigns, once you do, the benefit you cannot expect to confine to 1 year, it will go for the more than 1 year. So it is also an example for the deferred revenue expenditure. Similarly, exceptional repairs, if you are carrying out, the amount is very big, and the benefit, if you are expecting it to happen for more than 1 year, come over more than 1 year, then it is also an example illustration for the deferred revenue expenditure. So the right answer for question number 81 is all the three above, A, B, C, are examples for the deferred revenue expenditure. So D is the right answer for question number 81. Question number 82, friends, a manufacturing company spent the following amounts of the import and installation of a machine. Rupees 50,000 price of the machine, 5,000 freight, 1050 insurance premium, 6,000 replacement of the parts damaged in transit not covered under the insurance policy. Based on the above data, capital expenditure would be what? What is the capital expenditure? Friends, try to understand the point here. 50,000 of the purchase price of the machine definitely is a capital expenditure. Freight which you are spending to bring the machine to your factory is also needed to be capitalized or added to the cost of the machine. 50,000 plus 5,000, 55,000 plus insurance premium which you are taking, that is 1050, that also is to be added to the, what is it, is it to be added to the cost of the asset. Here the point of interest is only that expenditure which you are incurring to bring the asset into what? Asset into its present location is only to be included and should be treated as a capital expenditure. Insurance premium is to cover the risk of the damages, and it may also related to a period after the asset is brought into existence. On that pretext, what we are saying, insurance premium is not going to be treated as a capital expenditure. And 6,000 replacement of the parts which got damaged. See, while the goods are in transit, the parts of it got damaged and the no insurance coverage is there. Again, you have to put those parts, and so this is also an expenditure incurred prior to the asset coming into existence, and all that expenses which are to be incurred prior to the asset coming into existence is to be capitalized. Once the asset comes into existence, subsequently if there is a damage in some parts and you are going to replace those parts, then that is not going to be treated as a capital expenditure. Try to understand the line of demarcation. The line of demarcation is after the asset is coming into existence, into our factory, installation and everything is over, subsequently there is a damage and some parts of that particular machine need to be replaced, then such you are going to treat it as a revenue expenditure. But this particular damage happened before the machinery came into our factory, while in transit damage happened and insurance coverage is not there, again you need to purchase those parts and put those parts into that particular machine. So since it is an expenditure before the asset coming into existence, you are treating it as a capital expenditure. Friends, here the clarity should be there. Any expenditure which you are incurring prior to the asset coming into existence is to be treated as a capital expenditure. But after the asset coming into existence, if you are incurring any expenditure, whether it is a capital expenditure or revenue expenditure, for that what is the test that you have to put? The test that you have to put is, once the asset is put into use, any further expenditure need to be capitalized only if such expenditure which you are incurring is going to enhance the utility of that particular asset. But the situation in which we are placed is something wherein this replacement of parts is happening before the asset coming into existence, because this damage happened while the things are in transit. The machinery is in a transit. So that made us to say that what is the total amount to be capitalized is 50,000 plus 5,000 of the freight, 55,000 plus 6,000, 61,000 is the total amount to be capitalized. Since insurance coverage is for a period which falls after the asset coming into existence also, that insurance premium we are not going to capitalize is the point. So 61,000 A is a right answer for question number 82. Now I move to the next question, friends. Question number 83. Expenses incurred on trial run of a newly purchased machine will be debited to. See, new machine we purchased. What we will do? We will make a trial run. Whether it is properly working or not, we make a trial run. While making the trial run, some expenditure will be incurred. All that expenditure incurred for making the trial run need to be capitalized. So, expenses incurred on a trial run of a newly purchased machine will be debited to the machinery account only. Will be debited to the machinery account only. To the asset account only it is to be added is a point. On this thing, what is the basis for this capitalization, sir, or adding to the value of the asset, sir? Here also explanation is the same. The asset is said to be coming into existence only after the trial run is over. In the trial run, if you find the defects, then you will send the machine out. So even the trial run expenses are also considered to be the expenditure which is incurred prior to the asset coming into its effective utilization. So that made us to say that trial run expenses on a newly purchased asset need to be capitalized and added to the value of the assets. So question number 83, B is the right answer. Question number 84, legal expenses incurred in a tax appeal is considered as. See, legal expenses which you are incurring while doing the business, in the normal course of the business also certain litigations will come wherein you have to employ the legal counsel and need to make the payment of legal fees and lawyer fees and other legal expenses. All those legal expenses incurred in a tax appeal is considered as a revenue expenses only. B is the right answer. 85. Underwriting commission paid for the issue of the shares is, underwriting commission is paid for issuing of the shares. So any expenditure incurred in raising a capital receipt, you are going to treat it as what? Capital expenditure. Of course friends, this underwriting commission also, just like preliminary expenses, you are going to what you call debit it there and show it under the miscellaneous expenditure and write off the same over a period of time. So on that pretext it could also be a deferred revenue expense. Earlier we said brokerage and commission are to be treated as a revenue expenditure. So since the amount is to be charged over different years, we put it as deferred revenue expense. C is the right answer. Deferred revenue expense. For question number 85, treat it as a deferred revenue expense. Then question number 86, a firm suffered a loss of rupees 500 on the sale of old furniture. This will be treated as, see, you are making a sale of a old furniture. This will be treated as what loss? Friends, furniture is a capital item, right? On furniture, whatever that you are spending, it is a cost, and that cost in the form of depreciation will be debited to the which account? Profit and loss account. So let us suppose furniture is of 10,000 rupees. Over a period of time, 9,800 rupees of the depreciation I charged to the profit and loss account. Now the book value of my old furniture is how much? My book value of the old furniture is 200 rupees. Let us suppose I am making sale of the same for 50 rupees. Then what is my loss? My loss is 150. My loss is 150, and this particular loss which I am getting as 150, is it a capital loss or is it a revenue loss? Point of interest here is, it is a capital loss. How come? Asset is a capital asset, and by making a sale of an asset, whatever the loss that you are getting is to be treated as a capital loss, and even the capital, even when it is a capital loss, we debit the same to the profit and loss account. So treat this as a capital loss and put the answer as A as a right answer. Then I move to the question number 87, friends. Cost of the goods purchased for resale is an example of, that is, you are into the trading business, you purchase the goods and make sale of the goods. So whatever the cost of the goods which you purchased for making resale is to be treated as what? A revenue expenditure. So B is the right answer for question number 87. Question number 88. Consider the following expenses: purchase of machinery, wages paid for erection of the machinery, repair of the old machinery to put it to use again, registration charges paid on purchase of the building. Which of the above is of the capital expenditure? We know pretty well purchase of the machinery is a capital expenditure, and wages paid for erection of the machinery is also a capital expenditure, because this is an expenditure incurred prior to the asset coming into existence, so it is also to be capitalized. But repairs of the old machinery to put it to the use again, this is not going to be treated as a capital expenditure, because this is not going to enhance the utility of the asset. And then friends, registration charges paid on purchase of the building is also to be treated as a capital expenditure. So what should be the right answer? The right answer is an option which has got the items of 1, 2 and 4. 1, 2 and 4 will be the correct answer. So A is the right answer. A is the right answer for question number 88. Then I move to question number 89, friends. Consider the following statements. Capital expenditure is incurred for the purchase of. What are the options here given? Obtaining a long-term benefit for the business. Yes. Increasing the earning capacity of the business. Yes. Purchasing of marketable securities. And purchase of marketable securities means you are purchasing the shares and debentures of other companies with an intention of making a resale and all. Acquiring of an asset in a business. So 1, 2 and 4 are definite capital expenditure, whereas purchasing of a marketable securities, it is not considered as a capital expenditure. On what context? If your business happens to be purchase and making sale of a securities, then you purchase the marketable securities, the one which can be easily be traded in a market. So it is just like a goods for a person who is into the business of trading in securities. So that is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. So here the right option for question number 89 is the one which has got 1, 2 and 4. So B is the right option here for question number 89. Question number 90. Which of the following will lead to understatement of the net profits? See, when the net profit will come down, if a capital expenditure is treated as a revenue expenditure, what will happen, friends? Naturally, your profit will come down. So what is the right option? B is the right option. Treating the capital expenditure as a revenue expenditure is going to lead to the understatement of the net profit. Understatement means profit getting reduced. Then for question number 90, B is the right option. Question number 91, the expired portion of the capital expenditure is shown in the financial statements. Expired portion of the capital expenditure means what? I purchased an asset for 1 lakh and 10,000 I charged it as a depreciation. So this is called as expired cost, and depreciation will be charged to the profit and loss account. So the expired portion of the capital expenditure is treated as what? Is to be treated as an expense. So B is the right option. Question number 92. Entrance fees of rupees 20,000 received by a club is, see, into certain clubs, if you want to become a member, entrance fees is to be paid, and if this entrance fees is for a lifetime, then for that particular club this is a what? Capital receipt. But every year you have to pay the entrance fees means then it becomes a for revenue receipt for that particular club. From the club's point of view, what is it? It is a capital receipt. Entrance fees received by the club is a capital expenditure, capital receipts. Question number 92, A is the right answer. Question number 93, friends. Insurance claim received on account of loss of machinery by fire is, see, you purchased a machinery and then you are taking an insurance policy and damage happened to the machine, and in lieu of the damage you are receiving the money from the insurance company. This money you are receiving on a capital front. So this is to be treated as a capital receipt. Had it been for goods which got damaged, insurance claim if you are receiving, that we call it as a revenue receipt. But since this is for the machinery, in lieu of that, if you are receiving the insurance claim, then it is to be treated as a capital receipt. So for question number 93, A is the right answer. Question number 94, friends. Expenditure incurred in preparing a project report. Expenditure incurred in preparing a project report. Project reports we prepare to make the projects. So it is on a capital front. So all these expenses are to be treated as a what you call capital expenditure only. That is, any expenditure to bring an situation or a what you call a asset or a project into existence, then it is to be treated as a capital expenditure. So question number 94, project report expenses, that is for preparation of the project report, if you are incurring the expenditure. See friends, for big projects you need to have a what you call, you need to go to several consultants, like chartered accountant will prepare the financial data and projected financial data and what are the expected revenues and expenses. Like that he will prepare a project report from finance angle and viability angle of it and all, and you have to go to a what you call market analyst and get from him a report, and similarly you have to go to lawyers who are going to study about all the contracts that you are going to enter and the purchases you are going to make. So all this we term it as a project report, which includes in it market survey, financial viability, all those things. So it will not be done without expenditure. Some expenses need to be incurred, but this is on a capital front, you have to treat it as a capital expenditure. B is the right answer. 95 rupees 60,000 spent on construction of a railway siding. This is a capital expenditure. That is, we got a very big factory and goods gets manufactured which needed to be what you call transported through railways. So from your factory gate to the railway station, you need to have a railway track, and you are going to pay for it. Although you are not the owner of it, still you have to treat it as a capital expenditure. So for question number 95, it is a B, that is capital expenditure is the right answer. Question number 96 friends, inauguration expense of rupees 25 lakhs incurred on the opening of a new manufacturing unit. Any expenses prior to a manufacturing unit coming into existence or company coming into existence, that and all is to be treated as a capital expenditure. B is the right answer. Question number 97, amount received from the landlord as a compensation for surrender of tenancy rights. Tenancy rights is a capital item, is an asset. Let us suppose I entered into a lease agreement with my landlord for 12 years. After 2 years, my landlord is coming and asking me to vacate this premises, and since I have got a right to stay in this particular premises, which we call it as a tenancy right, for my accepting to vacate this premises, for that tenancy rights, if I am surrendering, since it is an asset, which is an intangible asset, for giving it up, whatever I get, it's to be treated as a capital receipt. Tenancy rights is an intangible asset. For surrendering it, if I am getting some amount, that is to be treated as a capital receipt. So for question number 97, D is the right answer. Question number 98 friends, gift received from father of the proprietor deposited in the bank account of the concern. That is, a proprietor's father gave a gift to the proprietor, and that amount is deposited into the bank account of the what? The business. Then the entry that you are writing is what? Bank account related to capital account. So this amount is to be treated as a capital receipt because it is going to increase your capital. D is the right answer. Question number 99. Subsidy of rupees 50,000 received from the government by a manufacturing firm in respect of the price reduction in the product is, see, today all of us have got a what you call a fortunate situation, because government subsidize our cylinder costs 25 rupees like that, thanks to our Rajasekhara Reddy, who is no more, but all of us are enjoying it. So otherwise what would have happened? I would have paid more 25 rupees on each cylinder of the gas which we consume and all. So the point here is, like let us suppose I am into the fertilizers manufacturing company. I produce a particular goods and government says that you make sale of this particular fertilizers to the farmers at this particular price, and whatever the amount of reduction that you are making in the price, that amount we are going to give it to you, that we call it as a subsidy. So subsidy of rupees 50,000 received from the government by a manufacturing firm in respect of the price reduction which the firm has accepted in the product is on account of the revenue front, so it is to be treated as a revenue receipt. It's not giving, we would not have accepted for the price reduction in the product sale price. So sales is a revenue receipt, so in substitution of that you are getting this is subsidy, it is to be treated as a revenue receipt. So question number 99, B is the right answer. Now I move to the question number 100. Renovation of a factory canteen. See, repairs and renovations are to be treated as revenue expenses only as long as they are not going to increase the earning capacity, only to maintain the present earning capacity. If you are incurring any expenses after the asset is brought into use, any further expenses unless and otherwise they are going to enhance the earning capacity are to be treated as a revenue expenditure only. So for question number 100, A is the right answer. Question number 101, taxes paid. Taxes paid is to be treated as a revenue expenditure only because it is confined to a particular accounting period. Whatever the profits that you earn or the other aspects like the taxes means the sales tax, excise duty, all these things are related to that particular period. So of course product related costs like excise duty, customs, these things, as long as credit is not available, you are asked to add it to the value of the products only. So taxes paid here are to be treated as a revenue expenditure only because they are period related costs confined to a particular accounting period is a point. So question number 101, A is the right answer. Question number 102, commission received on sales is a what kind of it? Commission received is a receipt. It is not a revenue expenditure or capital expenditure or deferred revenue expenditure. So none of the above is the answer. Commission received on sales is a revenue receipt, and on that pretext D is the right answer. None of the above is the right answer. Question number 103, friends. Office rent paid in advance for 3 years. Office rent is paid in advance for 3 years. So against this advance, that rent is going to be adjusted. So this is to be treated as a deferred revenue expenditure because the benefit is going to spread over 3 years is a point. So for question number 103, C is the right answer. Question number 104, friends. Contribution to the cooperative society managing the industrial estate in which the factory is located for construction of the internal roads in the estate. See, contribution to the cooperative society managing industrial estate. There is an industrial estate and that industrial estate is being managed by a cooperative society. That is, friends, try to feel the situation. That is, there is a place where so many companies have got their industrial units and they will form a particular cooperative society, and that society, all these companies will be making the contributions, and that society will maintain whatever the minimal requirements of the water, sewerage, electricity, all those aspects it will manage. So maintenance and all will be done by the cooperative society, and that cooperative society, what it has done, it has laid down the internal roads in that particular industrial estate. In that industrial estate, internal roads need to be laid down, and it laid down the internal roads. Those internal roads, is it a capital expenditure or revenue expenditure or a deferred revenue expenditure? Friends, please remember, the ownership is not for laying down the roads and all. The ownership does not lie with the entities of the cooperative society, so it is definitely a revenue expenditure. and but since the amount is a very bigger amount and the benefit is going to be spread over several years, you term it as a deferred revenue expenditure is a point. Because with this laying down the internal roads, the society is not getting any asset or bringing any asset into existence. Once you say asset is coming into existence, ownership lies with us. So here ownership is not coming, it's not an asset, so we treat it as a revenue expense. But since the amount is huge and the benefit is going to spread over several years, you treat it as a deferred revenue expenditure. So for question number 104, C is the right answer. Question number 105, friends, cost of removal of the business to a more convenient locality. So from one locality you are shifting your business to the another locality. So in that case, that is not going to enhance our earning capacity. If you feel, then it becomes a revenue expenditure. Once the amount is huge, you treat it as a deferred revenue expenditure. But by shifting from one locality to the another locality, if earning capacity is going to get increased, means definitely it is to be capitalized. But since it is only for convenience you are shifting to the another locality, it is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. Since the amount is big, you have to treat it as a deferred revenue expenditure. C is the right answer. Question number 106, cost of carrying out an experiment to modify a product. See, there is an existing product and you wanted to bring some modifications into that existing product line, and so you asked somebody to make a research to see that you get an improved design. If that is the case, it is to be treated as a capital expenditure, provided that new modified product is going to have a bigger earning capacity. But if it is not going to enhance the earning capacity, it is to be treated as a revenue expenditure. And if the amount happens to be a bigger amount, then it is to be treated as a deferred revenue expenditure is a point. So experimentation, this and all comes what? In the research and development costs. Now if the research and development cost is there and you are able to get a modified product, then that benefit of that modified product is going to spread over several years, but it is not bringing any new asset into existence, or it is not increasing the existing assets earning capacity. On that front we are treating it as a deferred revenue expenditure. So question number 106, C is the right answer. Question number 107, friends, compensation of rupees 2.5 crores paid to the workers who opted for voluntary retirement. See, in your company you declared VRS scheme and so many people came and opted for VRS. Huge amount of expenditure you need to incur, although it is on a revenue front only, but since the amount is bigger, you need to spread over the several years, so that you treat it as a deferred revenue expenditure. Huge amount of the voluntary retirement scheme compensation is to be treated as a deferred revenue expenditure.